Welcome to Direct U.S. Immigration's channel, where you get direct access to our most up-to-date immigration and global mobility space. My name is Maitreya Brown, and I'm going to talk about the visa program that provides individuals from countries with relatively lower levels of recent immigration to the U.S. an opportunity to apply for a visa and permanent residency, or more commonly known as a green card. So you're not going to want to miss out on this one. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Maitreya Brown, and I am a U.S. immigration attorney based in Washington, D.C. I'm also the principal attorney at Direct U.S. Immigration, where we work with clients in all 50 states and around the world. Before we start, click on the like and subscribe button to follow our Immigration Hub to get the latest immigration information that could be vital to your case. And also, be sure to stick around until the end to get a bonus tip on avoiding scams about this visa program. As you know, diversity is a core American value, and in 1990, this diversity visa program was established to encourage immigration to the United States from a wider variety of countries. So today, we're here to discuss everything you need to know about the diversity visa program. This program is one of the multiple ways for non-citizens to become U.S. permanent residents. The program is a free lottery that people from countries around the world can enter for a chance to apply for a green card and live and work legally in the United States. The lottery winners don't need family or employment relationships with U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents to sponsor them for their green cards. The diversity visa program was established by the Immigration Act of 1990 to make the U.S. population more diverse. Each year, nationals of countries with a low rate of immigration to the U.S. get a chance to be considered for a U.S. green card. There are 50,000 non-immigrant visas available for the lottery participants every year, and the winners are selected randomly. So any person who is a citizen of a country that has a historically low immigration rate to the U.S. can apply, as long as they meet the requirements set by the U.S. immigration law. If you want to have a chance to get the U.S. green card this way, you will need to apply within a specific time frame. Otherwise, if you miss the deadline, your application will not be taken into consideration and you will have to wait until next year. And each candidate can submit only one entry. Now, there are two eligibility requirements in order to be submitted into the diversity visa lottery. The first is your country of birth, and the second is your education level. In order to be eligible for the diversity visa, you must have been born in a country that sent less than 50,000 immigrants to the U.S. over the past 5 years. Now, there are some yearly variation in the eligibility of countries. However, to date, Canada, China, India, Mexico, and the United Kingdom have never made this list, as these countries respectively send many immigrants to the United States. For the 2024 application period, which opened October 5th of this year and closes November 8th, nationals from the following countries are not eligible. And you can find them here. So if you are not born from any of these countries, then you can apply this year. Now, if your native country is not eligible, there are still two ways you could qualify for the diversity visa. Now, the first one is if your spouse was born in an eligible country, then you can apply with your spouse and choose your spouse's birth country on your application. Or if neither of your parents were legal residents of your own country of birth, you could choose your mother or father's country of birth. The second major requirement for the diversity visa applicants is that you must have at least either a high school degree or at least 2 years of work experience within the past 5 years in a profession that requires at least 2 years of training as determined by the U.S. Department of Labor. To be eligible for entry into the diversity visa program, each candidate must meet the following requirements. The first is be a citizen of a country that has a low immigration rate to the U.S. And if you are not sure if that applies to your home country, you should check out the list issued every year by the U.S. Department of State. Or second, have either one of the following: a high school education, which means that an applicant needs to have completed a formal course of elementary and secondary education comparable to finishing a 12-year course in the U.S., or have 2 or more years of qualifying work experience. If you enter the lottery and are selected but do not meet the requirements, you will not be invited to apply for the green card. There is a limited period of time during which applicants can enter the program. Every year, the lottery is open for about 4 to 5 weeks, and the exact dates vary. To find out what the registration period dates are for that year, you need to visit the Department of State website. To participate in the lottery, you must submit an entry online on the Electronic Diversity Visa website. There, you will fill out an online form, and please note that paper forms are not accepted, so it needs to be done online. During the registration period, you can submit only one entry, and if you submit more than one, your entry will be disqualified, as the U.S. Department of State has a technology that detects it. Now, once you submit your entry, you will receive a confirmation number. You must keep it with you because without it, you will not be able to check the status of your entry and find out whether your submission was selected. Diversity immigrant visa applicants are selected randomly from all registered individuals based on visa availability for each country. The lottery results are updated on the Electronic Diversity Visa website, so by visiting the Entrance Status Check section on the page, you will be able to check whether your submission was selected. Visiting the Electronic Diversity Visa website is the only way to check the lottery outcome. Successful applicants will not be notified by mail or phone, so if you've lost your confirmation number, you will not be able to find out whether your entry was selected. Now, if your entry is successful, you will be directed to a page that will include further instructions on next steps. If you check the lottery results and find out that you are a winner, you can begin applying for a green card. If you are outside of the U.S., your selected entry does not mean that you can immediately enter the U.S. If you do not have another visa that allows entry. So to apply for an immigrant visa and permanently move to the U.S., you will first need to follow the following steps. Submit your visa application using the DS Form 260. Submit supporting documentation. Schedule and prepare for the visa interview, and attend the interview. At the end of the last step of the process, the visa interview, an official will notify you whether your visa application is approved or denied. If your application is successful, you will be given details about your visa. If your application is denied, the authorities will explain their decision. Along with the application form you will need to submit to receive the green card, you will need to submit the following supporting documentation. So a birth certificate issued by the official custodian of birth records in your home country, court and prison records if you have previously been convicted of a crime, military records if you have served in the military forces, police certificates that cover the entire period of your residences in certain areas, and a photocopy of your valid passport. Make sure you seek advice from an immigration lawyer when preparing the documents file, as failure to include some of the required documents can delay or deny your application. You should properly prepare for your visa interview. Otherwise, the application can be delayed or denied. So to make sure that you are ready for your interview, you should do the following. Check the information on the Electronic Diversity Visa website and note the date, time, and location of your interview. Check the interview instructions published by the U.S. Embassy or Consulate where your interview will take place. Schedule a medical appointment with a physician to get all the required vaccinations, and obtain 2 passport-sized photographs. When you go to the interview, you will be required to present the following documents: your appointment confirmation that you can download and print from the Entrance Status Check section of the Electronic Diversity Visa website, the confirmation showing that you submitted the DS-260 form, evidence of the required education, and a passport valid for at least 6 months after your planned entry into the U.S. While entering the Diversity Visa program is free, submitting the application to have your immigration status in the U.S. adjusted is not. So if your entry is selected and you want to proceed with the process of getting your U.S. green card, you'll have to pay the Diversity Visa fee of approximately $330. This fee is non-refundable even if your visa is not issued. Now, you might also have to pay other fees associated with the application process, for example, fees for scheduling a medical exam, or for receiving copies of required documents such as a birth certificate. If your entry is selected and you listed your spouse and child or children, your spouse and all married children younger than 21 years of age will be able to join you. If you are unmarried but in a relationship at the time of receiving the lottery results, you can get married before you submit your DS-260 form to make your partner eligible for a green card. However, of course, this marriage has to be out of love and, of course, not to obtain an immigration benefit. Or if you have children who are born after submission into the lottery, your now born children can be included in the DS-260 stage. The important thing to remember, however, is that when submitting your entry, you must list all unmarried children under the age of 21. That includes both your children and your spouse's children. The failure to do so will lead to your dependents being disqualified from the lottery and potentially your disqualification. Even if you do not intend to bring your spouse or children to the U.S., you must include them in the application. Every year, a significant number of lottery winners end up not moving to the U.S. because they did not complete the visa application in time. That is because lottery winners have to get approval and complete either their adjustment of status or their immigrant visa application prior to September 30th of the fiscal year during which the lottery took place. Diversity visas cannot be issued to participants of the program after the end of that fiscal year. The time you have to wait to receive the green card varies, but it usually takes several months to years. So that is why you should start your visa application right after finding out that you've won the lottery. So as promised, here's some bonus information that you may not know about. So unfortunately, the diversity visa program is sometimes abused by scammers as a way to defraud hopeful immigrants. So here are a couple of tips to avoid common scams as they relate to the diversity visa. So the first thing to note is that entering the diversity visa lottery is free. So anyone claiming to collect a fee on the Department of State's behalf is scamming against aspiring immigrants. The second is that the Department of State does not notify winners either by mail or by email. The only way to know that you've been selected is to check your application using the entrant status check. Entering the diversity visa lottery is like entering any lottery. The odds of winning are not high. But if you're lucky, you can be on your way to becoming a U.S. green card holder, even if you don't have any family or employment contacts in the U.S. Now, if you are married to a U.S. citizen, applying for a marriage-based green card is almost certainly a better option. I hope you found this video helpful. Subscribe if this content or information helps you in any way. Comment below if you want me to talk about something in specific, and share this resource widely because you never know who needs answers to these questions. Additionally, if you have any specific questions about this video as they pertain to your unique circumstances, please schedule a consultation with us, also at the link below. Or if you know you'd like us to assist you with your submission, send us an email at inquiry@directusimmigration.com. And I'll see you in the next video.